It's a speaker. J.C. Penney Company. One model.
Just trying to be able to pan through them.
Vivo, see? Where was this made?
This one was made in Hibbing.
Heads up. Heads up. Just a sec.
It's really the right motor, it's the right base for the sled. It's an actual 630.
Huh.
Basically, it was a
weren't those
refab
comets?
Comet.
Heard. Who knew?
I had it for about 3 years before I did anything with it.
This one has 1 hour on it?
1 hour.
Just 1 hour.
This is Stump the Editor Colt.
Stump the Editor Colt with a rare 300cc Hearth engine in it.
Where'd you find this?
It was there was a restaurant in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. We ate supper one night, and we came out and we saw it sitting there. And the guy was very, very old, so I went up to him and paid him $10 for it.
$10. Did he give you any change, John?
No change.
How do you sleep nights, John?
He was happy.
He was happy.
It was his brother's.
So you had to do, oh, you bought it from him and it was his brother's.
So I did a lot of work there. The tunnel was sort of rotted out, so I cut a piece of the tunnel out, welded it.
It's got a raised seat, you know.
Yep.
Does it?
Just hold a whole case of beer under here.
At least. But you don't drink, so.
No, absolutely.
Good job.
See the inside?
Yeah, pop it up quick. Muffler bypass, huh?
This is the very first time it's run. The solar and onto the trailer.
Hearth. Who knew? All right, bud.
What do you want to know?
How long have you had it?
About 7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
Where'd you find it?
Oh, put an ad in the paper, and the guy called me and said he had a 73 EXT, and I started asking about it. He said it was a 3-cylinder, and I knew that they didn't make any 3-cylinders, so I went and looked at it and found it was a 72, and I knew I wanted it right away, and he ifed and around. I said, well, what do you got to have for it? He says, well, 150 sounded okay, and I said, yeah. So that's why I picked it up for. And basically it was it's basically the same way you got it, other than one part of the clutch was broke. And I had it for about 3 years before I did anything with it. Tore the engine all apart, and then set for another couple of years, and I just tore it apart recently and went over it all. Got a new chrome tank coming for it, but I didn't get a chance to pick it up before I...
Great job. Good job.
Runs good, other than got a little bog.
What is it?
This is a snow wolf.
Snow
I don't know
wolf?
what year it is. We'd like some information on it.
On a snow wolf.
Yeah.
What's it got for a motor in it?
Got a little Chrysler. I don't know.
Was it in this shape when you got it?
No, it's been all cleaned up and been restored.
Yeah. Boy, it's a beauty.
Chip pattern.
And what's the motor in? Oh, it's a Chrysler motor.
Yeah,
how wide's the
Chrysler.
track? 15-inch track?
Yeah.
Long.
Almost as wide as it is long.
Jeez, that's something. Never saw one.
It's like riding a bicycle.
Dick, tell me a little bit about it.
This is a 1966 J.C. Penney, almost, built by Artie Cat. Basically is a Model 100 with a fiberglass hood and a chrome handlebars and a few other things.
How many did they make?
I'm not real sure on it. I would guess probably about 300.
300, wow. Have you ever seen another one?
Yeah, I've got one, and I know about 5 more.
5 more, wow. Looks great. Here.
1972 Chaparral 650.
Where'd you find it?
In a snowmobile salvage yard in Anoka, Minnesota.
Salvage yard?
Yep.
Was it like that when you saw it?
No, it hit a tree. It's been totaled out.
Oh, you fixed it up.
Yep.
Wow,
I made all the front end pieces myself.
that's a beauty. How'd you know what it was supposed to look like?
I saw another one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that was this one. I ended up buying this one.
What's that motor in it?
650 Fuji.
Not a Polaris Fuji though, right?
It was made exclusively for Chaparral by Fuji Motor Division.
Oh, so it's a different Fuji altogether than the Polaris.
Crankshaft, bigger ports.
Trick, trick, trick. Looks great.
Thanks.
You warm enough today?
Too warm.
Yeah, I'll bet. So's the sled, eh?
You don't want to run.
All right. Perfect. All right, Todd, what's the story here? You find this thing on the side of the road like everybody else did, right?
Bought it in a dumpster in Syracuse for their costly trash service with the dumping.
No, where? How long have you had it?
About 3 years. I bought it from a kid who had 2 of them, and he's since made one an independent suspension model.
Oh, that's the one.
This was the sister.
Did a good job. Don't need a gas gauge on that tank, eh? Is that that's a Kohler motor or Sachs?
Sachs.
Have you had a chance to clock it?
Pardon me?
Have you had a chance to clock it for speed?
No. 150 was it? Not?
Yeah, about 150?
On a warm day.
Yeah. Good job.
1965 Super Pacer.
Huh.
Basically, it was a
Weren't those
refab
Comets?
Comet. Yep.
Yeah,
They called the Comets. They'd give you your money back, or they'd retrofit them with a steel cleated track. The ones they didn't retrofit and kept, they took a K70 Pacer rear section and adapted it to the Comet front section and called it a Super Pacer.
Did I ever tell you I know where there's a Comet?
Nope. Is it for sale?
Oh, I would say so. It's in a barn, no motor in it. But it's still, you know, the front engine job. Good job. So this is pre-restoration then, eh?
Yeah, I did. I had to do the windshield frame and the skis because there was nothing left. The windshield frame was just rusty, but the skis were gone. I had to prefab the whole bottoms of the skis.
How'd you do that?
Took some steel stock and bent it, reformed it in a V shape, and welded it to the bottom.
That's about a 5-minute job, huh?
Yeah, about 20 hours in one ski.
Oh, Jesus. This is your only toy, Dave?
Yep, 303. I got lost in a snowstorm on Thanksgiving. We were looking for Sherry's brother's house, and we drove by right after the guy put it out for sale. And I saw it was a 303, and we went back later on. The guy wasn't going to be home till real late, so I left a check with his wife. She didn't even know how much he wanted for it.
You left a blank check?
No, we gave him like 50 bucks.
Oh, you're big of you, Dave.
Yeah, well, you know. Did he give you back the change?
That's all I give
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have any money. I had to beg it off of her.
Put the hood up.
So, I got it. I was over there picking it up the next night. 3 people called for it while I was picking it up. He had to go keep running in the house to the phone. And it runs good. That's just the way I got it.
Just the way you got it. Another one of your great restoration
He had
jobs.
I got 2 cans of Roto Lube with it and a purple Power Lube gas can. I almost wet myself. I was so excited. A brand new.
If you shut it off, will it start?
Little microphone.
Yeah, oh yeah. You're on, Buster.
Living color?
The famous Buster Miller.
I would have known that. I would have put my necktie on.
Are you warm enough today?
Yeah, beautiful.
Just great, huh?
Let's say this one. Pine Grove, California.
California?
There.
Did you have to go and get it?
No, I paid a guy to go out and pick it up for me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I got as much as getting it back home as I do in the machine.
Now, is this the first year they made Elites?
Well, this is the second year.
79 they made them?
74, this is 74. They made them in 73.
Oh, sweet. It's a beauty.
Later one.
Now this is a hustler, not a rustler.
1970, the last year they were made.
I don't want to hurt your feelings, but it's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen.
That goes along with me.
What was the difference between a hustler and a rustler?
They have to have fancy windshield on.
The rustler didn't?
It'll come about halfway.
That windshield probably costs as much as the hood, don't you think?
Well, if that goes, we might as well forget it.
Can you open up the hood, or does it hinge?
No,
Or...
don't come up.
That's it? Ha! No wonder they stopped selling them in 1970.
Electric start. Everything got a rewind on it.
You're right. So when you blow a belt, what do? Trade them in for a new one?
That's very possible. They have a stand on it. It's got a stand for the trim.
Oh, great. There's a feature that I can't believe that feature's not still around, huh? And you got room for what?
Toolkit in here.
You got room for a week's worth of clothes in that, don't you?
That's toolkit.
Wow. Is that all fiberglass, huh?
Yeah.
Beauty.
Got in my office.
Doug,
What?
where'd you get it?
Oh, I got it. A guy had it for sale in the paper, Minneapolis paper.
And you just went over and bought it?
Well, he gave me a call and said, he had a kitty cat for sale. So I called. He said it was brand new. Only an hour's time on it.
1 hour.
1 hour.
Open up the hood. It's a 73, huh?
73. He had it bought it for his son. Took it out, and his son drove it for about an hour. Come in the house and couldn't breathe, so took him to the doctor. And the doctor said stay away from the snowmobile, and his dad put it in the family room, built a shelf on it, and sat there ever since.
73. So you're not going to start it today, I guess,
I got
huh?
the shelf and all at home. No.
Looks nice.
Steel chassis.
Maybe 10 or 12. That's a whole shoe.
It's a mod Suzuki motor with PSI pipe. Put the piping in there. Like he says, the seat might have to go. Well, I don't know. Lee from Arctic makes all the seats. I need that seat. But I want to put a number up on the seat itself.
Why?
Go back and tell you. Tell
There's a 90 cc in there?
Yeah.
It's a 90 cc with
Yeah,
a
about
with
90 modded out.
CD, wall.
Yeah, Wall Brothers built that independent suspension.
Can you lift the back up for me, Doug?
Similar.
Pleated track. What's that? Yeah.
With studs in it already.
Maybe next year they'll have slide rails in it.
Now tell me a little bit about this sled.
Well, it's a side of the road special. It's all built up out of pieces and parts drugged from the side of the road. I didn't hack up any nice specimen to make it. The cowl and tunnel I got from the side of the road. The guy was giving them away.
Is it a Panther? Or was it a Panther?
It was actually a Puma, but Puma tracks are almost impossible to come by. Panther tracks are a dime a dozen, so
You made it a Panther.
changer on.
And it's independent front end you built yourself?
Yeah.
Open the hood up.
Should I bother to connect the other plug that I fired?
What's it, well, what do you call this?
It's really the right motor. It's the right base for the sled. It's an actual 634 Hertz base. And they were real undercooled, so I just water jacketed it and then went to 338 cylinders.
Pipes and all, huh?
It's a living.
That's awesome. How's it going in the hills? Pretty good?
It's real good. It was set up for the trails. It's a good trail sled. It's not going to take anything away from an Indy or something, but I can ride with a modern sled and not beat myself to death by the end of the day.
So you're thinking of putting them on the market?
No.
old chaparral.
And it's snow froze better than that.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
you can't find them. If they are, they're all beat up.
Few people who were there will ever forget the final event for the 1969 World's Championship race at Eagle River, Wisconsin. Most of the 20,000 spectators expected to see Steve Avi of Duluth, Minnesota on a Skidoo repeat his 1968 win. But then, they didn't know Roger Jansen, a small, sleight-of-built grain farmer from Crookston, Minnesota. They didn't know of Jansen's desire to win. For Jansen, there is only first place. In the 1968 World's Championship, Jansen, in second place, was pressing Steve Avi for first when he blew his engine. This year, the tide was to turn. Cameramen Jerry Horan and Bob Olson of station WLUK-TV, Green Bay, Wisconsin, were there to record this wild race from the 1969 World Championship.
The fastest qualifiers, 10 big 800cc modified machines, 6 Arctic Cats and 4 Skidoos. Charlie Lofton from Thief River Falls, Minnesota on an Arctic Cat is on the pole. As the machines round the last corner of the pace lap and move into final position, Jansen's engine falters and quits. Without all contestants lined up, the field doesn't get the green, and they have to take one more lap. Jansen is able to restart his engine and join the field. It looks like they're lined up beautifully this time. They get the green. It's a race. There's a terrific pileup on the first corner. 1, 2, 3 machines. Someone is down. It looks like Jansen. He's hurt. His cat appears to be on fire. Refusing assistance and medical aid, the plucky little Jansen wants to stay in the race. Arctic mechanics work frantically to pull the damaged frame away from the track. And they make it on time for Jansen to rejoin the field for the third try. Again get a start. Lofton leaps to a quick lead, but on the first corner, Jansen dives to the inside to take over. Grant Forsythe and Steve Avi on the Skidoos pass Charlie Lofton to move into second and third place. At the end of the first lap, Steve Avi moves into second. Hold it! Steve Avi flips the Skidoo. But here's another pileup. And it looks like 2 machines are out of the race. With Steve Avi out, Grant Forsythe moves into second and Lofton third. Jansen has built up a tremendous lead. His machine is a runaway, and the last remaining stretch to a complete Arctic sweep is out. Roger Jansen, Crookston, Minnesota, first. Charlie Lofton, Thief River Falls, second. Wayne Perkle, Thief River Falls, third. Roger Hibble, Thief River Falls, fourth. Dewey Paulson, Clearbrook, Minnesota, fifth. All on Arctic Cat Panthers.
Roger Jansen's fantastic win earned him the World Championship, a total of $3,720 in prize money, and a trip to Europe for him and his wife, plus a 1969 Porsche sports car. What a day! From Eagle River, the Arctic racing team headed for Winnipeg, Canada. for the 4th annual International 500-mile snowmobile race to St. Paul, Minnesota for the opening of the Winter Carnival. All of the previous winners were here. Herb Howe and Jerry Reese on Polaris, and last year's winner, Dale Cormican on an Arctic Cat, each confident that he could do it again. 126 snowmobiles of all makes lined up to start the race, but only 33 would survive that first day. "206 miles in freezing sub-zero weather, with high winds that blew up ground blizzards, making visibility almost zero. Dale Cormican won the first leg with a lead that was never to be overcome, 35 minutes ahead of the rest of the field. The morning of February 6th was cold, 7 degrees below zero. 21 machines lined up on the north shore of Lake Mille Lacs for the final 125-mile dash to St. Paul. Tension was high, nerves were taut. Dale Cormican on the Arctic Cat had an insurmountable 59-minute lead. But to win a race, you have to finish. With only minutes to the final starting flag, Cormican's clutch flew apart. Less than 10 minutes to do a repair job that would normally take 30. The rules of the Winter Carnival race permit team mechanics to make repairs and replacements between heats. But once the flag is dropped, only the drivers can make any repairs or adjustments. And then he can use only tools and parts carried on board his snowmobile. The repair of the Arctic team's leading snowmobile must go down on the records as one of the finest examples of sportsmanship between major rivals that has ever been witnessed. For in less than 10 minutes, the clutch was replaced, not by Arctic mechanics, but by Polaris mechanics, with a special tool they had designed for just such an emergency, and with a clutch from one of their own machines. Barbara Ann Strobrush, Winter Carnival Queen, will drop the flag. And they're off. At the halfway fueling point, George Halley on a Polaris is the first one in. No sign of the leading cat. With a 59-minute lead, Arctic's team captain, Charlie Lofton, was taking no chances on a mistake. He could well afford to have Cormican take it easy. His strategy paid off. Total elapsed time for the 560 miles, 14 hours, 59 minutes, 8 seconds. For the second consecutive year, Dale Cormican on an Arctic Cat with a factory-modified 380cc engine had won the International 500. From St. Paul, the team headed to the New York State Championship, Boonville, New York. Charlie Lofton, captain of the racing team, posted the first perfect score in the event's history by amassing 16 points in the 400cc modified races that comprised the championship. With a 372 Arctic Cat, he won the 1.5-mile cross country, the obstacle course, the 5-lap heat, and the 8-lap closed oval. Arctic Cat's second consecutive New York State Snowmobile Championship. Then to Peterborough, Ontario, to challenge Skidoo in their own backyard. Thousands came from all over the United States and Canada, for this was the third running for the coveted $6,000 Kawartha Cup. The best Skidoo had to offer were here, for they wanted to keep this revolving trophy in Canada. These men had other ideas. Race after race, the Invaders and Arctic Cats won. When the point score was totaled, the Arctic Cats of Rod Fensky, Sudbury, Ontario, and Larry Colton, Thief River Falls, had scored the highest possible number of points. Each won every heat and won every final in the events they entered, for a total of 24 points each. The Kawartha Cup was awarded to Larry Colton for his perfect performance in stock and modified classes. The last major event to hit would be the tough Western Snowmobile Association Roundup at West Yellowstone, Montana. This was the big race of the factories, for some a proving ground for next year's prototypes. Here, Arctic would try for the flying mile speed record, as well as cross-country and oval races. Arctic had installed two 1140cc engines into one Arctic Panther, over 100 horsepower. But Skidoo, Polaris, Scorpion, and Motoski also wanted to be dealt into this hand, for they too came equipped to challenge for the flying mile. Contestants know of the importance of an early run when the snow is hard, for the sun in this high mountain country would soon make the surface mushy and the traction poor. Dwayne Eck on the Skidoo was one of the first in line. His first run was a scorching 95.33 miles an hour for a new official world snowmobile speed record. Now Wayne Burkle's turn on the twin-engine Arctic Cat. These engines were just completed and flown to West Yellowstone, so Wayne had yet to try this machine out. Here he comes. 95.03 miles an hour on his first run, and on just one engine, for at the halfway point, one of the belts had flipped over. Wow, what is this capable of? There were so many machines of all classes trying for class records that by the time Skidoo, Polaris, and Arctic drivers made their second runs trying for the world snowmobile speed record, the spring sun had done its damage. And Dwayne Eck's early morning record run of 95.33 miles an hour would remain unbeaten. Here's a snowmobile that really looks like it was built for speed. Mickey Rupp's Dragster Special. Twin tracks and a full-house Gurney Eagle Ford engine. This one is for show only. Time out for rest and relaxation with a leisurely snowmobile trip into beautiful Yellowstone National Park for a look at some wildlife and, of course, Old Faithful. A picnic on Two Top Mountain, climaxed with a beautiful evening trip back to West Yellowstone. Sunday, race day. The competition, Skidoo, Polaris, Rupp, Snowjet, Yamaha, Motoski. Every major snowmobile manufacturer was represented, and all for the same reason, to win. Some manufacturers came equipped with special chassis, racing prototypes for 1970, and they were very impressive. Vern Rickard posted wins for Arctic, culminating a great racing season for Arctic Cat, probably the most impressive race record in the history of snowmobiling. A first, second, third, fourth, fifth place sweep of the World's Championship race at Eagle River, the New York State Championship, the Canadian National Championship, and the rugged International 500 for the second year in a row, with 6 of the first 10 machines across the finish line Arctic Cats. When the last snow has melted, the snowmobiles of the men of Arctic are not put away. At a 40-acre test site west of Thief River Falls, Minnesota, the roar of the snowcat goes on, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, to find a better clutch, a quieter muffler, non-breakable belts, lighter and faster engines, and better chassis. Their aim? To make Arctic Cats the finest snowmobile on the market. It has been said that racing improves the breed. Surely, racing is the final test to prove Arctic Cat's superiority, but it's really the performance of every single Arctic Cat sold and driven. On the plains, in the mountains, through the woods, or across a frozen lake that have made the Arctic Cats and the men of Arctic.
Objective is to win races. You can put aside all the testing discussions and the factory level testing discussions and so forth, and you want to win a race, want to win races, and the Thunderjet was designed with that in mind, especially Thunderjet 2.
Man, a competitive creature. He will run, walk, jump, or swim his very best to prove that he can go faster, farther, or better than his fellow man. Just as men have raced cars, boats, and motorcycles, as soon as there were 2 snowmobilers, One had to prove he could go faster than the other. These highly tuned, modified racing machines are Thunderjets built by Snowjet, built to learn how to build better machines for the family, built to study advanced engineering and assembly techniques, built to race, and built to win. This is a story about snowmobile racing in the winter of 1971-72. It seems at times that racing is dominated by large factory teams with huge budgets, expensive equipment, and highly paid racers. But racing belongs to the fans, who are some of the most faithful and enthusiastic in the world, and to the racers who aren't on those factory teams, but who want to compete. There are men and women who will travel all over North America to go up against the very best, and those who will stay close to home and run against their friends and neighbors. So the Thunderjet was built with these people in mind. Snowjet doesn't have a factory racing team, and as it turned out, we don't have to. The Thunderjet and its racers from all over the United States and Canada have racked up an impressive record of state, provincial, national, and international titles. The Thunderjet is the result of work of Snowjet engineers in both Canada and the United States. The man in charge of this program is Dwayne Aho. Let's listen to what Dwayne has to say about the 71-72 racing season, how the program got started, and some of its history.
Snowjet has been active in racing for many years. Originally, the stock machine did a fine job. We learned 3 years ago that we were not as competitive. We needed certain things. There were certain things that were on all winning machines that we didn't have.
Dwayne, I've heard a term quite often in spending some time around you and other people working on the Thunderjet program. F equals MA. What is F equals MA? What's our secret formula here?
It's a basic term of dynamics in physics, that force equals mass times acceleration. If you have less mass, you have more acceleration for the same force. We have competitive engines. We have the same power as anything else, but we can come off the starting line faster or come out of a turn faster if we're lighter weight. It's a basic term for all race equipment.
What about the unusual looking chassis on these machines? Is this any different from other racing machines at all? The metal used?
Yes, there's a lot of advertising about aircraft aluminum. We, I believe, would be the only ones using true aircraft aluminum. It's much stronger, heat treated.
Well, by achieving a low center of gravity on a machine, what advantages does that give you in specific handling?
Well, as in race cars, and the same as in snowmobiles, you don't want to overturn them. You lost weight. The low center of gravity allows you faster turns, better handling in the rough. I've seen the moguls or holes in the snow up to 3 feet deep in cases, and hitting these moguls at 60, 70 miles an hour, the machine does leave the ground. You don't want to get crossed up, turned around, and you want to stay flat and level.
How about the rather unusual engine placement on this machine, forward and quite low and to the left? How did that come about?
Part of it was natural because most oval racing leases counterclockwise and move the engine inward. But the real reason was to enable us to get the weight of the drivetrain down, the driven pulley down, and also to give us a good sweep for our pipes to come out.
The very first major race of the season showed what was to come, as Snowjet took 3 first places at Ironwood, Michigan. State championships were won in Montana, Minnesota, Utah, and Wyoming, among others. Provincial titles were won in Saskatchewan, British Columbia, Manitoba, and Quebec. And on to the biggest races in Canada, the Kawartha and World Cup races in Peterborough, Ontario. Some of the factory racers were so impressed that they stopped to watch Jim Adama go by. Jim's Thunderjets won more races than any other individual. All Jim did was win 6 out of 9 races that he entered. The only Thunderjet entrant to complete the 3 days of competition was clearly the class of the field. Eagle River, Wisconsin, the World Championships. The toughest racing in the world. The Thunderjets came to Wisconsin and raced away with just about every trophy in sight. On the big oval, the Snowjets took first place honors in modified 1, 2, 3, and 4, with Adama sharing the individual laurels with Kim Elmer and Louis Berman of Minnesota. At Boonville, New York, the Thunderjets were shut out in the finals, but did well in the speed trials. Grabbing places in the open, modified 3 and 4, and winning modified 1. But the Thunderjet was in action in smaller local races too, like this one in Alexandria, Minnesota. Ladies compete in modified competition. This gal brought her Snowjet home first, with no one even close. In the big race of the weekend, 17-year-old Kim Elmer took the 800cc class with a 650 machine. Only the best get to race at the World Series, held this year at Ironwood, Michigan. 17 Thunderjet competitors qualified for the field, the most in history.
Oh, a bit of a tangle up there, but everybody's okay in turn number 1. Down the back straight where they go.
Even the poor weather conditions didn't dampen their enthusiasm, although the mud did keep them from a better showing. One lone stock, SST, showed up to do battle against the super stock competition and thrill the crowd by beating 2/3 of them to the wire. This year came to a close much like it started, but a long way from home. West Yellowstone, Montana, and Jim Adama. He raced his 292cc machine to a first place to close out the best season of racing ever for Snowjet. With the season over, Snowjet engineers are once again hard at work, bringing Thunderjet-developed improvements to the production line. Things like a newly contoured seat for the SST, aluminum tunnel and front engine mounting for the Whisperjet, this is where racing really pays off for the consumer. In a better, stronger, faster, and more reliable machine.
Well, with this highly successful season of racing under your belt and under the Thunderjet's belt, what are some of the things that you're thinking about doing in the future with the program?
We're going to continue to achieve lighter weight. We've got to jump ahead of competition this year. We had a lot of steel in this year's Thunderjet that we can replace with aluminum.
And the testing of the race machines goes on. Sometimes we have our problems, though. But the Thunderjets will be ready and waiting for winter, just like all the other 1973 Snowjets. We'll see you on the trails and at the track.
You bet, Big Blue. Gotta get going while the snow is snowing. We'll be riding high. We're gonna pass them by. We'll take them on the hill like they're standing still. Big Blue.
Starjet, SST, Whisperjet. They're the Big Blue Snowjet snowmobiles for '73. And with features like the Multiplex 2 slide suspension and Positrack for fantastic hill climbing, you don't have to look any further for a snowmobile.
Hey, Blue, riding blue. Gonna have some fun with that son of a gun. Gonna move on out, make the other ones run. Ain't black or green or yellow, it's me, Big Blue. Hey, Blue, Big Blue. It's a real mobile with a real good feel. It's a Snowjet. You bet, Big Blue.
Sleek, powerful racing sleds, Thunderjets. And this year, Thunderjet racers had a chance to win their share of $1 million pot of gold that Snowjet put up. 150 events all over the U.S. and Canada and took more than 175 first places, won more than a third of all the 440 races, and captured over 500 places during the winter. Against the competition of factory-paid riders, Big Blue dominated some of the biggest races in North America. The Kawartha Cup. Peterborough, Ontario hosts these races, the oldest and most prestigious in snowmobiling. Canada's wide world of sports was there to see Jim Adema of Belmont, Michigan dominate the weekend, and they provided this film. All of Canada saw Jim bring his one-man blitz onto the track for 3 days of racing and capture 3 firsts, a second, third, fourth, and sixth. Snowjet finished over 100 points ahead of Arctic Cat and 150 ahead of Ski-Doo. This was a winter for heroes. Jim Noble of Idaho Falls went to the Washington State Championships and entered all 5 modified classes. How'd he do? Not bad. 3 firsts, a second, and a third. Winter long, wherever there was snowmobile racing, there were Big Blue Thunderjets. At Starbuck, Manitoba, Snowjet took the women's modified class for a warm-up and then grabbed every first place from 295 to 800 cc's and added 4 seconds and a third. How's that for success? Eagle River, Wisconsin didn't have much snow this winter, but that didn't slow up the racers. Especially Jim and Pat Adema. The husband and wife team grabbed up 4 of the 8 races, and Jim added a third in the World's Championship.
Going on now, look at those Snowjets on crossing in front of grandstand. Here's your leader as he pours it on. Look at those Snowjets, side by side, ski by ski.
He won more races than any man has ever won before. Whenever Jim hooks up with factory racer Yvonne Duhamel, the fans are in for real excitement. The semifinals saw Adema catch the Ski-Doo on the final lap. Even though he was black flagged, Duhamel was allowed in the final. But this time, the Big Blue Snowjet led from the start, and Skidoo had to settle for second, while another Thunderjet chased him home. In another race that day, Thunderjet and Adema proved to be the complete undoing of Duhamel and Skidoo. A month later, in Staples, Minnesota, the Thunderjets were at it again. Taking a third in the 800, second in 340, first and second in 300 and 650, and first, second, and third in 440cc competition. Vermont saw a repeat of the 1-2-3 finish in 440 and a sweep of the 650 and 800 classes too. All over, wherever there was snow, and some places there wasn't, there were Thunderjets, and they were winning. The World Series brings together the best racers from all associations, but for the second year in a row, the conditions were hardly ideal. But the Thunderjets were there, more than 30 of them, the most ever. Let's talk to some of the racers.
This is Dean Johnson from Anoka, Minnesota. Dean, I see you've got non-Snowjet colors on there. Did you race Arctic Cats last year?
Yes, I did.
And you came over to the big blue ones this year, and I guess you had a pretty successful season.
Yeah, very good, very good.
What was your biggest race, do you think?
At the Minnesota 300, it was a USSA race, and then I won the Mod 1 there, so I won $1,530, and then I won the Governor's Cup because it was the largest class that there was for the day, so they have a cup that'll be given down to the drivers year to year.
Do you race in another division other than USSA?
I race in the ASA also.
How'd you make out there?
I was first in the Mod 1 in point standings this year.
Dave Corbett, I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
And do you race mostly in the Manitoba area?
Mostly we race for my dad, but he's a distributor for Snowjet. And mostly in Manitoba, but we go out of province into Ontario a bit and down the States a little bit.
Well, this guy may not look very big, but I bet he goes pretty fast. What's your name?
Jim Takey.
Jim, how old are you?
17.
And you race modified 1 Thunderjets, right?
Right.
You primarily race where? In northern Minnesota?
Yeah, and Wisconsin, too.
How did you end up in the points race in the Eastern Division?
We took first in our class. We ended up first for Mod 3.
What's been your biggest race, you think, this past year?
Holmesdale, I won there overall in 4 and 5.
How about these track conditions here?
Here? Rough. And I think it's going to be really tough going.
When the racing started, those Snowjets were all over. The 440 racing looked like this. When it was all over, Jim Hart had a second place, and Jim Fonger third, and Mark Burkholz fourth. One semifinal heat ended up Thunderjet 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it turned out to be the fastest time of the meet, quicker than even the 800s. In the 800, Alan Stern took a second with a 650 sled, and Fritz Kruppen did the same in open class racing. But before the track turned to mud, the ladies had their day.
What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Charlene Whitaker, and I'm from Huntington, Massachusetts.
Charlene, what area of the country have you primarily been racing in this year?
Pretty much it's been a New York area, mostly because that's where most of your entries are. That's where your points are.
This is Darlene Karen from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Darlene, how long have you been racing snowmobiles?
Oh, I've been racing for about 6 years, I guess.
How long have you been racing on a Thunderjet?
Oh, past 2 years.
This past season, what's your biggest thrill and thing that's happened the best for you this last year?
Well, I was involved at Canadian Championships Voyageur this year, and I met up with Dorothy Mercer from Polaris, and I'm afraid I beat her pretty bad.
Well, we're glad to hear that. There should be some pretty good competition in the ladies' class here, shouldn't there?
There should be. I don't know many of the girls here. All I actually know is Dorothy herself, and I don't know who's top or anything, so I'm just sort of counting on a little bit of luck.
Well, you have good luck out there and have a good race.
I sure will.
Thanks for talking to us.
Okay, fine.
When it was time for the women's finals, there were 2 Thunderjets that qualified. They finished first and second, and Judy Rinaldi of Warners, New York won $1,000 from Snowjet. Ginny Takey of Bemidji, Minnesota got a $600 check for second. As darkness closed in, Snowjets had taken 6 places, more than any sled without a factory team. They beat Yamaha and Alouette and Rupp and Arctic Cat. With the season over, almost 200 Thunderjet racers have gotten checks from the $1 Million Race Fund.
We got a brother act here in the Hart boys from Burlington, Vermont. What do you think your best race was this past season?
Bangor, Maine.
And how did you finish up out there?
I finished first 440 and second 650.
And what do you think? Banger for you too?
Definitely. I finished second in the 440 class.
You guys have won a little bit of money from Snowjet's $1 Million this year, haven't you?
Right, and it's very much appreciated, I'll tell you.
How much do you think you and your brother combined have won this year?
About 8,300.
That's pretty nice going.
Yeah, it is. It gives you some kind of incentive to race now.
The top 10 money winners were, for the men, and for the ladies, you might say that all 200 of our winners are Snowjet's racing team. What about next year? Watch out for Big Blue.